welcome to Nugg Talk.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Nugg Talk, a weekly podcast where we talk about everything going on in the NBA, and more specifically, everything going on with your Denver Nuggets. I'm your host, Loki, once again, here with my co-host, Phil. Phil, what's up?
Not much. Just ate a big ol' chicken wrap thing.
No one cares about what you ate, you weirdo.
I just want to shout out Larry Walker. He made the Hall of Fame. Okay, what's up?
Okay, good for you.
Go Nuggets. And also go Rockies, kind of.
No one cares about baseball in here. Actually, it's fine. You can root for all Denver sports. But if anything matters, it's the Broncos. That's always been known for Denver people. The rest of the teams, people kind of are fair weather too, depending on who does well. Except for the loyal Nuggets fans and the Serbians who just represent us because of Jokic. And we still love you guys. They still listen to the podcast. That's crazy.
We shout you out for listening to this.
It's just amazing. But now we'll get kind of into the episode this week. Not much news going on. The main news is just always like trade rumors. Is Derrick Rose going to Philadelphia? Is he going to LA? Let's hope Philadelphia.
He's definitely going to LA, though.
Shut up. We don't want that to happen. We don't need a Derrick Rose LeBron reunion.
I definitely don't want it to happen, but it's going to happen.
No, shut up. No, it's not. Even though Kuzma to there does make sense. Shut up. It's not going to happen.
I would love for Kuzma to be a Piston. It would make me laugh.
I mean, he's from Detroit. He would not mind that. He's from Flint, Michigan.
Good. He can enjoy his time on a
shitty team.
On a shitty team because he made it very clear he doesn't want to be on a bad team. He doesn't want to be the best player on a bad team. So
True. He did say that multiple times. But anyways, away from that. But there's trade rumors for a ton of players. You know, Kevin Love's name probably will turn up around here or there. Bradley Beal, those guys, stuff like this. Malik and Juancho still probably on the trading block. Maybe some other guys on our team as well. It'll all kind of start ramping up a little bit more and more as we get to it. Same thing with like all-star stuff like that. We'll start once we get closer to that. We'll get closer to trades and everything like that. But no other really big news. Zion's coming back. That's happening too. And unfortunately, he's going to come back at a time where he's going to be playing against us, which is weird. Yeah. I mean, it's just like we'll just deal with him. We're his, I think, like second game back or third game.
It'll be interesting to see how that goes. I'm not sure if Zion is as good as everybody talks like he is. I'm not sure we have a matchup for him.
I still think Jaw's better, but and I've always said that kind of. I also think that we'll see how he's doing. My thing that I get worried about is like we struggle against the Pelicans anyways, and they're coming up, and he'll be playing now. So I hope that doesn't just mean we're gonna lose that game. But who knows? Sub 500 team. We all know what that means.
I know that it's gonna be a struggle.
Except for this week, it was not the case, which was good. But we'll get into things. We're just going to do just to fill in some of the time. We're going to talk about one team we think's doing good, one team we think's doing bad. You know, bring back the old segment. We can start off with you, Phil. What's one team that has recently been doing worse than you expected compared to how they either started in the season or just what you expected?
I'm going to say the Houston Rockets. They have lost 4 straight. And they really haven't really looked like the team a lot of people expected them to be this year at all. Unfortunately, we get to play them twice in the next 4 days for them to get their frustrations out. So hopefully we can continue those frustrations. But yeah, I'm going to say the Houston Rockets. They've been struggling lately.
Yeah, especially because James Harden shot 1 of 17 and broke the record for most missed three-pointers that I think he already held.
Oh, yeah, there's no way it's not his record.
So I think he broke his own record. I could be wrong on that, but if he's not second, he's definitely third on that list. He's first or third or something. He's definitely on that list. JR is also definitely on that list as a Nugget.
For sure.
I know for a fact he's on the list. But yeah, no, they've been playing kind of bad. I mean, Westbrook's been playing good for them, but it's really just Westbrook, which was the issue in Oklahoma as well.
Exactly. Speaking of the Rockets, what was your prediction about Russell Westbrook in the beginning of the year? Was it?
He wasn't going to get a triple-double this year. He wasn't going to average it.
Oh yeah.
Not like get not get one. Yeah. He wasn't going to average it for the season.
Looks like you're going to probably be right.
Yeah, I mean, I expected that to happen. It was kind of a hot take, but also I just expected it to happen because it kind of made sense because, he doesn't get as many opportunities to, get as many assists and things like that because Harden holds the ball for as long as he does. So it makes a ton of sense. But with that being the case, they lost twice against Oklahoma City. Chris Paul really fucking wants to beat them every single time he plays them.
That's true, and I feel like a lot of the Thunder people also want to beat Russ just because to have that over him.
I'm sure they all hate him, but
I think they love him.
Yeah, but they just want to win
they
those
want to
games.
beat him.
But yeah, so they've been doing kind of bad as of late. My team that's been doing bad as of late, and I always just like to kind of mention it, is just the Timberwolves, and we beat the Timberwolves, and we'll get into that game, but man, that team's so bad.
They're awful, and people thought they were going to make the playoffs this year.
Carl Anthony said they should make the playoffs this year, and they were being underrated. I think he was overestimating his team. Wiggins,
he is overrated.
I don't think he's overrated. I think he's pretty good, but I don't like him personally. But Wiggins is overrated. He has kind of fell back into the same Wiggins as he's always been. He's doing a little bit better than he used to, but still not what people expected with him being the number one pick coming, out of Kansas. He should be way better than he is at this point. I can't really name anyone else on that team, and we literally just played them. The only person I can name is Bates Diop because he kind of messed us up.
I just got Josh Okogie.
Yeah, Okogie.
He also
and Shabazz. That's about it.
That is it.
So that team's really bad. Their coach was pretty young, but even then, I'm just saying, Karl Anthony Towns, he's going to be probably looking to get traded soon. So hopefully to an East team, as always. But not this year. I'd say that's probably more in next year's ballpark. Or this summer. He'll probably get traded soon. So I just think it's great because, I will always have a lasting hatred to anyone who was on that team that stopped us from making the playoffs that year in that last game. Except for Jimmy Butler, I forgave him mainly because he's kicked their ass with the practice squad, and he's hilarious.
Yeah, and he kind of screwed them over. So
yes, so I will always love Jimmy Butler now. Now, what's one team that you would say is doing really well, better maybe than you expected, or they just keep doing well?
The Utah Jazz. They have, granted, before I say this, they've had a very easy schedule, but they just beat Indiana, who we did not beat. Yeah, they've only lost one game this month. They have the same record as the Nuggets and the Clippers, so they kind of busted out of that slump that they were in at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, I was also going to say the Utah Jazz. They got a lot better as of late, mainly just because I think their team started finally learning how to play with each other. I think Mike Conley is a little bit more comfortable in his role.
They benched him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's more comfortable in that role.
I'm surprised that they benched him. I didn't know that.
I don't know if it's full-time benching, but either way, I think they've figured out their rotations, things like that. They went on a run, and again, you said it's against easy teams, but hey, at least they beat the easy teams because we don't always. If we did, we would be a way better record than them.
We did. We'd probably have the best record in the league.
So at least good job on them for doing that. I'm not happy that they're as high up as we are, but the West is a tough place. Every team's doing pretty much well. The only team, the East is kind of sporadic. The only team that's doing pretty well in the East is obviously the Bucks. We could have gave it to the Bucks easily, but that's just too easy. They're on another tier compared to the other teams in the East. I would say probably the second best team in the East is either the Raptors or Sixers, Celtics. You can flip it either
what
way.
about Miami, bro?
Too young. I still don't believe in them yet. I think Jimmy Butler's going to carry them really far, maybe even to a second round appearance. But I think that team is just too young to really go too deep yet, just because they have a lot of rookies. But they do have a really good coach in Eric Spoelstra. But yeah, so I'll give it to Utah.
They become really talented all of a sudden too. They could be a pretty good East team in the future.
Yeah, and they're looking always to do trades too, because Pat Riley always wants to trade for a superstar. So, don't be shocked if they do trade for one this, not off season, but this trade season, because that is very much a possibility that's something they could do. But yeah, that's our thoughts on the league. The rest of it is just we got to try doing our best to make sure we compete and we're still going in the West. And we'll talk about how we did this week. We went 3-1. Phil, you were wrong.
I was wrong.
We did exactly the opposite of what you said. We beat all the bad teams and we lost to the Pacers, but we shouldn't have lost to the Pacers. we will talk about it. It wasn't like a bad loss. Like I'm not too upset about it as I will. I'm not gonna rant this time. I will just talk about some things that did frustrate me, but like we did pretty well this time, so I'm happy with it. I think it was a good time to go 3-1. We had some highlights for some players, so we'll just get into it. We'll talk about the first game. The first game was against the Hornets.
Mm-hmm.
Who would you say was your MVP of that win?
Michael Porter Jr.
He did pretty good.
He played super well. He's played very well all week. I think you'll see that this is a theme. He won't always be the MVP for obvious reasons, but yeah, he played really well. He starting to make his 3-point shot, which is super, super encouraging for me and probably for the Nuggets and his development. I think it makes him a lot easier to play from alone. And we've discussed how that is becoming potentially an issue, which is something we will also get into at the end of this rant of this schedule, because I have a little bit of a rant.
I'm not going to rant too much. I will talk about it when we get to a certain game.
It's not really a rant, but it's more of a plea.
It's a frustration.
I want to express my frustration.
But we kicked the Hornets' ass.
Yeah, we dominated.
Good. It was our first good defensive performance in a very long time. Granted, they are not a very good team. They've lost 7 in a row. But we finally came out and showed up against a bad team, which is what I've always wanted. So I'm happy about that. I'm actually going to give it to PJ Dozier. He didn't really have amazing stats, but he came in and he played great in that fourth quarter. It was good to just see him, get his first NBA game, play really well in it. He looked kind of calm. He's really good in the pick and roll. He's still got a long ways to go, and obviously he shouldn't even be here if it wasn't for the Jamal injury and Gary's injury and all the injuries we've got.
All the injuries.
But he's here, and he played really well. I think he had 12 points on 4 or 5 shooting. Let me check that real quick.
Yeah, I think that's right.
But he did really good.
5 of 7, 12 points.
5 of 7, 12 points. He came in, he did good. He had a spark for the fourth quarter because they kind of were bringing it back towards the third quarter. Luckily, him and MPJ kind of took it away. Other people who played well in the game obviously will be, Jokic. He played well. Barton played pretty well. But yeah, MPJ is probably the best player of the game. Plumlee got a lot of feeds from, luckily, PJ and Jamal when he was in till he got hurt. The injury for Jamal, update, probably going to be out for a very long time.
He's going to be out a while.
Apparently, so once he went to the locker room, x-rays were negative. That's good. But Michael Malone said that it would look like a ball on his foot. That's how swollen it was. So we're probably not going to see him for a long time. It's probably like a very high grade ankle sprain.
I would say at the earliest would be after All-Star break.
But we should be very glad that that's all it was.
Yeah.
It could have been way worse. It looked way worse. Luckily, it wasn't that bad. He'll be back eventually. And we thankfully have PJ and Monte, who are both very good point guards, to handle it until he comes back.
I guess since we are talking injuries, I should point out something. Mason Plumlee is out tomorrow against the Rockets.
Yeah, because he got hurt in our last game.
He got hurt.
He also sprained his ankle.
Yeah, it says right cuboid injury, so I think that is ankle.
It looked like it was his ankle. Could be something else. We're not doctors.
Yeah, we're not doctors. I don't know what a cuboid is. But maybe we'll see some bowl minutes. I don't know.
We haven't. He's with the team.
Who would be our backup center? If
it would
not
have
him?
to be Bowl if we get. I would
or
be
maybe Jared Vanderbilt.
It could
maybe
be Vanderbilt.
Jeremy Grant. But Jeremy Grant's gonna have to play a lot of minutes.
Jeremy Grant's gonna have to play a shit ton of minutes. I would like to see Bowl get called up. We'll see. I don't know. I really doubt it.
Yeah.
But I feel like Plumlee won't be out as long as Murray won't be out as long as Gary and Millsap have been.
Gary has been upgraded to doubtful, so that's good.
He's going kind of. Oh God. Well, we're gonna be hurt for a while. It's okay. At least we're getting towards the break, so that will help out. But other insights from this game, I would just say, in this one, we actually lost the rebounding battle, but we won. It's one of those rare ones where even though we weren't rebounding the ball very well, we just dominated. And again, I would say it's probably more just because of our defense. Our defense was excellent in this game. We played really well. We shut down Deontay Graham for the most part because he can pop off sometimes. I mean, their starters did really good. Their bench did nothing for us, for them at least. So And our bench played really well in this game, so that was the difference in this one. I don't really have much more to add on to this one. Do you have anything else you want to say?
No, it was a good win against a bad team, which is what you expect. So,
And then now we played a back-to-back. All of our games were back-to-back. Actually, they're like what the best team since like the past year in back-to-backs. I think we've only lost 2 back-to-backs in the past year, like 2 games in those back-to-backs in the past year, and we've won like 19 or something. That's really good. So that means this team doesn't care if they're tired, for the most part. But this game, they did come out kind of sloppy against the Warriors. This was a hell of a game.
It really was.
We played like absolute trash. We had no right to win this game.
Mm-mm.
I don't even know how we won this game. I'm glad we did, but we shouldn't have. My MVP will be Malik, because I think you're going to go with Will.
Yeah.
But Malik will be mine just because he was the only one playing good while we were playing shitty, and he's the only reason we were kind of even in it at any point. And then Will Barton also played well, but then he really popped off towards the end.
Yeah.
So
yeah, mine's Will Barton. I was thinking about giving it to Jokic because he also kind of went off in the fourth quarter, but then I saw the 9 turnovers and I changed my mind.
Yeah. He didn't play super well just because everyone turned over the ball. We had a shit ton of turnovers. Warriors were hitting every single 3. They looked like the KD Warriors out there. It was bad. We were playing awful. But, I mean, for the most part, we came through towards the end. And even the TNT guys, they were calling us, fake. Fake good team. We're not there yet. All these things. Which I won't say the fake good team's like a fair case to say. We're not there yet, might be, but the fake team is not. We are a contender and we are a good team. And we showed it because they said a good team would be able to come back from that deficit we were in. And we did. We somehow took it to overtime and then pulled through and won it in overtime. 134-131. Will Barton had 31, 11 of 20. Malik had, I think, 17 or maybe even more. I think Jokic almost had a triple-double in this one, too.
Yeah, he did. He was only a few assists, like a rebound away or something.
Yeah, and so Michael Porter, Malik actually had 27. Holy fuck.
Yeah.
He popped off in this one. He shot 5 for 10 from 3. Barnes shot 7 of 10 for 3. His career high in threes made. Everyone played really well. Porter played really good. He was really clutch in, end time minutes.
He got so pumped during this game.
They were all really pumped for this game. It was good. I mean, they really needed to win it because this is not a game we should lose. They were, at the time, the worst team in the league. They keep flipping back and forth between them and the Hawks. So I'm glad we won this. We kind of just got messed up, though, by Damian Lee and Burks. Shout out to CU.
Go Buffs.
Yeah, go Buffs. D'Angelo Russell also played pretty well in this one. But once we kind of settled down and we started winning the rebound battle, especially the rebound battle, that's when we won the game. And again, that's what I think most of these games come to. If we win the rebounding battle, we're going to win. And that's what we should do. Do you have any insights about how people played in this one? How it made you feel? Because it was a very tense game.
It made me nervous. I don't have any big insights. I think we've covered it all. I guess just Michael Porter Jr. is really impressing me. So.
Yes, he played very well in this game.
First double-double of his career.
First double-double of his career, true. Everyone played really good. I'm glad Jokic woke up in this game and finally started playing well. Once we settled down, we didn't turn over the ball as much. We started passing and we rebounded, and then we started making threes. Like, I'm shocked we had a higher three-point percentage than they did. We shot 48% from the three-point line. They shot 44%. I'm genuinely shocked we did better than they did because they were killing us. But, we pulled it out. We won. We didn't lose to the Warriors like you said we were going to. So,
yeah.
Haha.
Really glad I'm wrong.
I'm also glad you're wrong. That would have been very embarrassing. So we won that one. Pretty good. Did well in the back-to-back 2 of 2. Then we get to the next game. We had to play the Pacers. We were doing really well in this game. We were playing pretty consistently well. No one was scoring at the beginning. I think we watched and it was like 6-4, like 5 minutes into the game or something like that, which is ridiculously low scoring. There was the lid on both buckets. The only people who were scoring were Jokic and Will Barton at the time at the beginning. Then we kind of got into a groove, but we just blew it, man. We blew it in that fourth quarter.
We really did. We gave up 42 points, 41 points.
We gave up way too many points. We lost a lot of offensive, flow. Our momentum just kind of got lost.
It should be noted that we made 3 3-pointers in this game.
Yeah, we didn't make any 3-pointers, but even with that, we still should have won it. Sabonis kicked our ass. He had a triple-double, 22, 15, and 10. He's a very good player. He's basically like poor man's like Jokic for the most part. I'm not going to give him like that much praise.
I don't think triple doubles are particularly common for him.
But that was very impressive. That game, he definitely was poor man's Jokic. He played really well. Our team, Jokic, I'll give him the MVP because he had 30 and 10. He definitely deserves it.
Yeah, Jokic deserved this for sure.
Will Barton also, again, played well. He was consistent. Jeremy Grant, again, showed up, played well. Michael Porter had 10 in his 23 minutes. Plumlee had 13. Juancho had 2. Malik had 2. Dozier had 8. He played pretty well. Rebounding battle again. We won this one, but we actually lost the game. I think we won this one. Actually, let me check.
Yeah, we did. 44-38.
Yeah, so we won this one, and we still lost the game, which is disappointing. We really blew it. And I have some thoughts about why we blew it, but you can get into anything you want to say if it's Torrey Craig related.
Yes, it is. Thank you for the reminder, Kian. Low-key, sorry.
It's fine.
Don't
say my government name. Don't need to talk about this. We're going to get on a list.
Oh, they're listening right now, Kian.
No.
This is kind of the case for our entire schedule. I haven't really been a fan of this. It only paid dividends. One sec, let me just take a double check. In none of these games did it really pay dividends. And that is starting Torrey Craig over Michael Porter Jr., especially while Gary and Paul are out.
Yes.
And you move Will Barton to shooting guard and start Torrey Craig. Michael Porter Jr. I'm pretty sure pick any of these games. Let me check Indiana real quick. Yeah. So in any of these games, Michael Porter Jr. scored more points than Torrey Craig scored combined in these last 4 games, and he scored 10 points against the Pacers. And I think Torrey Craig scored 9 total over these last few games.
Mm-hmm. He has not scored a lot. I mean, he had 8 in this game.
So he actually scored 14 total. So 14 to probably like 40. Michael Porter.
I don't think he's hit a 3 in any of. Oh, actually, no, he hit a 3 in the Pacer game. I think that's probably the only 3 he hit.
He's a good defender and he's a solid player. He did some really nice stuff against the Pacers. Come on. You don't start start Torrey Craig when you have the opportunity to start in Michael Porter Jr. Especially, I don't care how good defense Torrey Craig is. Michael Porter Jr. just brings more to the table, and that's just truth, and I think it's time that we start him, especially while we're hurt.
Yes. I agree with you for the most part. Now, do I think Malone will do it? Fuck no.
No, there's no chance.
I don't think he'll ever do that, at least not this year, unless Torrey goes down too. I really don't see him doing it.
I fully expect Torrey Craig to start against the Rockets tomorrow night.
That one I'm okay with.
Yeah.
Because it's going to suck again because we won't have Gary. I really hope we just put him on Westbrook because he's actually good on Westbrook, but he's not good on Harden. So I'm okay when he plays those specifically defensive matchups.
Yeah.
But for this type of game, yeah, I agree with you. I think Porter should have started. I think a lot of Nuggets fans just want to see more Porter. We all love Michael Porter Jr. Every time he goes off, Reddit pops off, Nuggets Nation pops off. Everyone's excited for the kid.
And he's when he's on, he's guaranteed to score 20 or near 20.
Yeah, he gets buckets. That's his thing. He does have his defensive lapses here or there. He's learning. He's young and stuff like that. I don't have as much of an issue with Torrey starting right now. I obviously would prefer MPJ to start right now just to get the minutes, get the experience under his belt, and also, I think the consistent thing I've always seen is the first quarter is our worst offensive quarter. It's always our worst offensive quarter. Even when we had our full starters, it's usually always our worst offensive quarter. And I think it's just because guys are kind of easing into it and getting their legs warm and stuff like this, even though, they do hours and hours of warm up beforehand. It's just something with our team. The first quarter, we never have a really good quarter. I really think if we put MPJ in to start, he would help that issue. But again, I don't think Malone will do that this season at all unless his hand's really forced to. But what I will say for this, and it's not really a rant, but I do think it was a reason why the game kind of got lost from us, is I think MPJ was playing pretty well in those fourth quarter minutes. He did have, his struggles here or there. But I think with how bad we started doing offensively and just how bad we were playing defensively anyways, I really don't get why he benched him in the fourth quarter.
Those are especially because that's kind of the times you want Michael Porter to be playing. Isn't that the end goal for him to be our closer?
I mean, he usually in all these other games we played this week, he played in the fourth quarter and he played very well in the fourth quarter. I think he's not. I wouldn't say officially yet he's built for that moment, but I don't think he's scared of the moment. And I think that he does really well, and I just don't get why he pulled him in that game. I think that was something that definitely hurt because our offense was just bad anyways. No one was really getting a bucket, and we couldn't play defense anyway, so it didn't really make sense. That's one thing for that. Another thing is, when asked about that, Malone said, I don't want this question every single night about why MPJ is not playing, why this isn't happening with him, why this isn't happening with him. It's not about MPJ, it's about the team. And what I'm getting worried about is that Malone's doing this for the other guys to not get frustrated about it being about, like, Michael. Like, he's worried that they're going to get jealous or envious, like some guys, like maybe like Malik or Wancho or some of these guys, that it's about them. And that's not the case, and I hope that's not what it is with Malone, but it just seems like sometimes he's hesitant about giving MPJ these minutes because maybe he's so young and he feels like he should give it to his veteran guys. I don't know. I really think Malone needs to ease up on this. He's slowly, doing it every single time we get on a podcast. Like, every time he's getting more and more minutes. We're seeing more and more MPJ. Before, it used to just be kind of like fan service. Now he's playing consistently.
Yeah. I mean,
but I do think it was weird he got benched in that game.
The point is like, I agree with you. I think it might actually be partly he doesn't want to hurt any feelings, but at the same time, play the best players. And who in their right mind is going to say that Torrey Craig is a better basketball player than Michael Porter Jr.?
Yeah.
Nobody. Play the best players, and you'll get the best results.
I also think we need to stop playing Wancho.
Yeah, Wancho.
I love the guy, but like, he comes in, he doesn't really do anything.
To be honest, he needs to go play for a really bad team so he can get some minutes.
I get why we're doing it. It is probably because we want to raise his stock and things like that, but I don't really think we're raising his trade value if he just comes in there and he just
does nothing.
He does 12 minutes, 2 points, or 10 minutes, 2 points. It's not really going to do anything for him.
I'm pretty sure if you want to get rid of Wancho, he's just going to have to be packaged with Malik.
Yes. And Malik, I definitely think with how well he's been playing as of late, and I love Malik. I don't want to get rid of him, but if we do want more MPJ, I think we have to. I think Malik's great. I think Malik's been, really mature about his whole minute situation, always being ready, always being, able to play, even though some nights, he really pops off. Some nights he's just not there. I will still give him credit for, handling the probably difficult situation he's in.
Mm-hmm, for sure.
I think he's really raised his trade value, so I think that helps us if we do trade him, so to get at least some valuable pieces back. So I'm okay with him playing because at least he comes in, he's ready. Even if sometimes he doesn't play well, at least he'll have a game where he pops off for 27 or something like that. And his 3-point shot's been one of the most more consistent shots as of late with anyone else on the team, such as like Jokic, Barton, and Porter. So
yeah.
I'm okay with that, but I just think MPJ should have closed that game out. I also think our defense just it's really hurting without Gary and Paul. I think we choked that game away even without those two. Like, we could have won that without those two, but those guys, they play defense all 48 minutes. Whereas I don't think our whole team always does that, and I think that's an issue.
Yeah.
And without those two, you've seen that our defensive changes have become. Play a lot of zone now.
Yeah, we do.
Which is fine. It's really helped Jokic, conserve some energy, and play defense well. And we play the zone pretty well. It does, give up a 3-point shot here or there, but that's how you beat the zone. It's shooting. It's cutting. So it's going to happen every now and then, but I think for the most part it's help. But I do really want Gary and Paul back so we can kind of go back to playing man-on-man a full game.
Yeah.
For the most part, and also have a guy we can rely on to shut down a perimeter player most nights, and Gary, and then Paul to make up for any defensive lapses. So I'm really missing those guys. But overall, like, I'm not too upset about this game. I am upset we choked it, but it's not like something I'm super pissed off about.
It's something we definitely can bounce back from, and you got to take the injuries into account. And hopefully next time we play MPJ a little bit more. I don't know, but it's not a loss I was really concerned about.
It just happened.
You wish you win those.
Yeah, it would happen. It was unfortunate. Again, my thing that worries me the most is our home record is not very good this year, and that's usually always something I thought we could count on, especially with how good we were last year. This year, we are not playing that well at home. I think a lot of it, too, has to play in the fact that a lot of people aren't surprised by us anymore. They come in seeing that we're second in the West, or third or fourth, whatever night it is, whatever we are.
Yeah.
They know we're a good team now. People aren't like shocked to come in here and kind of see how well we're playing, so they give us their best for the most part. So I think the guys just gotta get used to that. They gotta get experience with that. Chuck did talk about something on the Warrior game during halftime, that we have a lot of bad habits. I do agree with that.
I agree with that as well.
We do have a lot of bad habits. He said eventually that's going to catch up to us. I really hope it doesn't, because hopefully we bust them out. But we do have a lot of bad habits. We do blow a lot of leads. We do not show up for a lot of bad teams. There's a lot of things that we championship elite teams don't do that we're kind of doing right now. But again, there's a long season still left. We can kind of bust it out, hopefully, especially when these guys kind of rest up during the All-Star break and the trade deadline that's coming up.
And hopefully we get healthier too.
Yeah, I think that will all help. So again, I wasn't too frustrated about this. The main thing I wanted to do this week was beat the bad teams, and we did that. And speaking about bad teams, we played the Timberwolves the next night, and we bounced back, I would say, pretty well. Any game in Minnesota is very close, and this one was no different. But, we pulled it out and we won, even though we were injured and we didn't have a lot of our guys. We pulled it out because Plumlee didn't play in this game really either once he got hurt. So, he came back and did Plumlee things, but for the most part,
he was clearly hobbled.
Yeah, he wasn't moving as well as he usually does, and that doesn't help for him. So, but we won it. I think this game was just a good game to see kind of some of the other guys play. I'm going to give my MVP to MPJ. I almost said MPJ to MVP. He did really well in this game. He looked poised. He made a lot of threes. He shot, what did he shoot?
7 of 12.
7 of 12. He had 20 points?
20 points, 14 rebounds, and 4 assists.
Yeah, he played great. And that's a career high in rebounds. He's an amazing rebounder. Another thing with MPJ, he's an amazing passer under the rim. Very underrated. Every time he gets under the rim, if he's getting double team on a layup, he somehow finds a center or some guy under there with a ridiculous pass. So that's very cool to see. He's a better passer than was advertised, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
Other guys who played well in this game, Jokic played great. Barn hit a clutch 3 to, basically end the game.
Jeremy Grant was really good.
Jeremy Grant played well. He started shooting threes again. Beasley played very well in this game. What do you think about Torrey Craig?
Torrey Craig can't shoot. I've said it before on this podcast. I'm sure he is just Andre Roberson, who can shoot slightly better, and I really want to emphasize the word slightly. They don't guard him when he shoots a 3 anymore.
Sometimes they do. He just shoots really weird. I feel like he changed his shot.
He also has a really slow shot.
It's just kind of a weird thing where it's really high, but it's straight. It's weird.
I
love Torrey still, but I do think he shouldn't start.
He's a good defender, but he's not a starting caliber player in this league. I'd love him if he came off our bench, but he never does.
Yeah, I think MPJ should have started this game because there's no one really specifically that Torrey Craig has to guard in this. There's not. This is more on Jokic to kind of stop Towns, which he really didn't. Carl still had 28.
Yeah.
He's a good player. There's nothing around it. He's a very good player. I think
he's top 5 center.
I think he's got to be top 3.
probably.
Yeah, who else? It's Jokic, Embiid, and him. Like, those are the guys.
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't count Anthony Davis as a center. Anyone who does, I think that's weird. He was always a power forward. He's still a power forward. JaVale McGee starts the center. So, but yeah, what were your thoughts on this game? What did you think? What did you like to see?
I was overall happy with it. It took us a while to actually take the lead.
It did.
But then once we got it, we basically held on to it the rest of the way. Yeah, this is a division game, and we're undefeated I think we're now 6-0 in division games. So you take that. You take a win no matter what against a division rival. So, yeah, I'm pretty happy with how it went.
Granted, we have played the worst of our division teams.
Yeah,
we still haven't played the Jazz yet.
Yeah. It's coming up, January 30th.
Yes, I'm very excited for that game. I just kind of want to see where we stack up with them and how that goes. But yes, I'm glad that we're undefeated in the division. Again, I said last time on the podcast, I think, and you mentioned it too, we take these games very personally because two of the teams in our division had, either knocked us out, basically knocked us out of the playoffs in the Timberwolves and the Trailblazers.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Thunder are the Thunder, and they're a formidable team, and we just want to beat them because they're in our division. So that's what it is. I'm glad we won that. I think overall in this game, the best thing to see was just the ball movement. I think once we took the lead, the ball movement got exceptionally well. Like, Jokic was making some great passes. We were playing with pace. We were rebounding, securing it, and then kind of running. A lot of the times now, Jokic, even when he's tired, like, they'll kind of wait for him to be like, it's okay, we'll wait for you to get up there. And he's like, no, go. He's like, just go. I'll get there eventually.
I'll get there.
He's like, go. And I think it's really funny, just because you can see he's like drained, but sometimes he's just like, go, I'll get there. I'll make it work. We'll figure it out. So even though like he's starting to, let them know, like, even though he has like physical, things that he can't do, like he can't run as much as those guys can. He's being a leader. He's being vocal. He's telling them to go. I think another cool thing was your dad was at that game.
Yeah, my dad was at that game.
You want to give the people some insights because he was right behind the bench.
Yeah, he works in Minnesota a lot, and he was right behind the bench. You could see him on the TV. He's wearing my Jokic jersey. You're welcome, Dad. Yeah, he has some really amazing seats. He could hear. You could hear Malone write up the plays and talk about the plays with the entire team. My dad pointed out two things. One is that Jokic is very involved in the play calling to a point where he actually nixed one of the plays Malone called and like wiped it off the whiteboard and basically said, let's do a different play. And secondly, that coaching staff is, I don't want to say screaming, but they're coaching up Michael Porter Jr. every single second he is on the floor. Every single second, even when he's not on the floor, he's still getting it. And that's awesome. It means they're trying to move him along as quickly as possible, and hopefully he's absorbing all of that.
Yes, because I think they do realize how talented he is. I think they're just being cautious with the injury, and they also just want to, again, I think, save feelings.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a little bit of it. Just because Malone's a player's coach. I think that was really cool. When you told me your dad said that, I love that they're coaching him up. I think it's great, and I think you can see it. He's improving every single game, even though it's like slight improvements. Like certain things, he's getting better every single game. He's just got to be focused at all times. I think sometimes he does kind of get lost.
Yeah, he definitely gets lost.
And you can see it. Sometimes he's just like looking at the ball and some guy will cut behind him, but he's young.
Yeah, he's 20. He'll get, I'm sure that'll get knocked out of him really quick, especially considering who his head coach is. Yes. So,
and also the people who might misconstrue the Jokic changing the plays, I like that. I personally like that.
You want your best player doing that.
I want the best player to do what he wants to do. Like, if he knows that something's working for him or the team, and he has a very high IQ, and he'll definitely know that. And if he knows that, I want him to call a play. I think between a coach and a player, you should have communication to where you respect each other, but you don't step over each other's feet. And I think that is the case. I don't think Malone's like, why did you do that? I think Malone wants that from his players.
I think Malone encourages that, especially from Jokic.
Exactly. I think he wants Jokic to be involved, and if that's how Jokic needs to get involved, that's what you do. And I think Malone probably realized that helps Jokic get into games. I'm sure other players do it too. Probably not Jamal.
Probably
Not
not.
Gary, but probably like Paul. I wouldn't be surprised if Paul draws a play here or there.
Cool if Paul, if Jamal gets to that point at some point.
I don't think he ever will.
Probably not.
We're playing for speed recovery for Jamal, though. We will not do any Jamal hate this week. But yeah, I think that was cool to see. I really like to hear that. This game was great. I was just happy because I really always want to beat the Timberwolves. And I was really happy this week because we went 3-1. I said we go 4-0. We probably should have gone 4-0, but I'll take the 3-1.
Yeah.
We beat the bad teams. We didn't do the sub 500 curse of the Nuggets and just not show up, even though we almost did.
Yeah, we tried.
We did try, but I was excited to see this. Highlights definitely of this week were MPJ. I think Jokic was a highlight too. He's definitely an all-star again.
Oh, yeah, I think he's a lock now.
I think he's a lock. If he doesn't make it, I'd be pretty upset. But I think for a fact he's a lock now. Even though he's not putting up like crazy point numbers, even though he is scoring more, you can just tell he's playing better. Like, it's night and day if you compare this Jokic to the Jokic at the beginning of the season.
He's way more aggressive, too.
Yes, he's way more aggressive. I still think he needs to, now that he kind of found his three-point shot, I think he needs to start popping it more.
Yeah.
There's a couple times in that Timberwolves games where he didn't, and I think he had the ability to. But, he's no longer being that guy who's passive when he has a smaller guy on him. He's taking that guy into the paint, and he's either scoring on him or he's passing to an open player. He's doing great. Will Barnes consistent again. He's a highlight for sure. And then I would say another highlight for the most part would be PJ Dozier.
Yeah, it's been a welcome. If we didn't have PJ, we'd be in trouble.
I think PJ is good to see, mainly because I would hope every Nuggets fan knows this. You should expect Monte, once he's a free agent, to be taken away from us.
Mm-hmm.
It's just we're not going to have enough money for him. It's very unlikely we can keep Monte in the future. So it's kind of good to see who will be Monte's successor in PJ Dozier. I think it'll be great. I think he's going to be way different than Monte. They play very differently, even though they're both good floor generals, but they play entirely different basketball.
100%, yeah.
But I'm excited to see PJ Dozier. And I also think it's cool that PJ Dozier sometimes, like, he can't make the shot, but he knows like someone's there to get the rebound.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he like intentionally hits it off the board really hard so someone can get an easy lob. I generally think those are assists. I don't think he's actually missing that badly.
Yeah, I think sometimes. Yeah, I can agree with that. I could see that.
But yeah, good week overall. 3-1. I'm excited for kind of excited for this next week. It's gonna be a tough week. So we're gonna talk about our games coming up. It's Houston away, then New Orleans away. And then we'll talk about Houston at home on Sunday. And then we'll talk about our next episode. So we'll start with the first game. It's Houston away. I think it's on a Wednesday.
Yeah, it's tomorrow.
Yeah, it's tomorrow. So, yeah, tomorrow. I was going to say right now we're going to lose.
Yeah, we're going to lose this game.
Mainly for the fact this time, not just because like I always think we're going to lose to the Rockets, even though sometimes I do. I really genuinely think that we are so injured right now and they just need a win.
Yeah.
They're gonna.
Yeah, they're probably. I could see this being a pretty ugly loss for us.
I think we're gonna get fucked.
We're gonna be missing 4 players, 3 of which are starters.
Yeah, it's bad.
So yeah, don't get your hopes up for tomorrow.
I think we'll lose like by 20. And if we don't, I'll be pretty impressed.
Yeah, if we can stay in this game for even 3 quarters, I'll be pretty happy about it.
We'll see how it goes. We're gonna have to, if we don't, play Bol if he's not called up or anything like that, which I expect him not to be. We're going to play probably some really small lineups, which means a lot of MPJ at probably the 4.
Mm-hmm.
And Jeremy probably at the 5. So that'll be cool to see, just to see how that works. But for the most part, yeah, we're going to get messed up because Russell Westbrook's going to just dominate Monte and PJ because Torrey's probably going to be on James Harden, and he doesn't even do good on James Harden. So I think that's going to be a bad game. So yeah, there's one loss there.
Yeah.
Unfortunate. And then we play the Pelicans on Friday in New Orleans. Again, Zion will be back for this game. I think it'll be his like second or third game back. I really want to say we win this.
I'm going to say we win this. I'm going to say we finally break through this stupid Pelicans curse and win.
I would say we win easily if we were healthy. I just don't know who's going to be in that game.
I don't know how Zion's going to play against us.
That's two. I feel like he's not going to be amazing once he comes back because he is coming off an injury that's pretty serious. I'm more worried about Brandon Ingram because he should definitely be an all-star this year. He's going to be a snub, and that sucks for him. But hey, he's about to get paid this summer, so good for him.
Yeah.
But he is going to probably be a sub for this all-star game. But I do think he's an all-star talent as of right now. He scored 49 on the Jazz. He's their only loss in the past,
3 weeks.
3 weeks. So, yeah, I think that scares me more than anything. And the fact that we don't have really anyone to guard him makes me worried too. I'm actually probably just going to say we lose this.
I'm going to say we win. But, yeah.
Injuries are going to hurt us right now. So I'm just going to say we lose this. This is because of injuries. If we were healthy, I would say we win. But we're not. So, and it's 2 away games. 2 kind of tough away games. And we don't play good against this team anyway. So,
true.
Yeah, and then the last game next Sunday at home against the Rockets. Again, this time I'm expecting us to be healthier. I'm expecting at least somebody to be back.
I mean, Plumlee will be back, and I honestly think that's it.
I think maybe Gary.
Maybe.
But
don't get your hopes up.
Don't have my hopes up. If Gary's back, win. If Gary's not back, loss.
I'm going to say loss.
Yeah, I think I'm genuinely thinking we're gonna go 0-3 this week. This is gonna be a tough week.
Yeah, we're gonna go 1-2. This is a tough week with kind of a not very ideal time. So
this is a tough month, just in general.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough. Hopefully, we can get Gary and Paul back by the time we play the Jazz. That's kind of the game I have circled.
Yes, that game's a big game. I want to be healthy for that. I really think that we'll go 0-3. Now, I don't think that's a detriment to our team, because I think our team's really good. Again, I just think it's about injuries. I do worry about how far we're going to slide, though, because of it in the standings.
Yeah.
By the end of this week, we might be like the 4th seed, maybe even the 5th. I don't think the 5th, but probably the 4th seed. And that's unfortunate, but that's what happens. Injuries, at the end of the day, you still just want the guys to come back healthy at some point, so we're not going to push anything. But we'll see. Hopefully they shock me. I think the most winnable game is the Pelican game, but other than that, I really don't think we're winning a lot of games this week.
Yeah. If we can pull out a win against the Rockets at home, that would be a really, really, really good win.
It'd be an amazing win. And again, it is at home, so there's a benefit of that, but I really just...
It's not looking great.
We're very injury prone. I mean, even to beat the Rockets, I think we would have to have like a great Jokic game, a great Barton game, and a shocking MPJ game.
Like 25 again.
Yeah, we would need a lot. So we'll see how it goes. I think we'll be fine for the most part. But yeah, I mean, we'll see what we are doing next week. But we're going to end it there. We're still going to do a thing. I got some comments, about trades. Someone talked about Bertans and Bogdan, maybe looking into that. So I'll look into trade ideas for that. Someone also said we should trade Jamal because he's not worth $150 million. He's not getting paid that yet. That's next year.
We can talk about that next year.
We can talk about that eventually. I would agree, though, he's not living up to that contract yet. But
he's not.
I would not trade him as of right now. I think Jamal's still kind of, for the most part, an untouchable with quotations around that. But I would still like suggestions for, trade ideas and things like that. We'll definitely, again, once we get closer to trade deadline, we'll talk about probably like the week before the trade deadline, which is on the 6th of February. So we'll definitely talk about that. But yeah, that's everything for this week. Please make sure if you liked it to leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment, tell a friend. And we'll talk to you guys next week.
Go Nuggets.